Okay, for this lesson, I'm talking about the topic of spelling for kindergarten, and spelling is basically the most essential step for children at this age to learn. They need it for reading and writing, and so my lesson is basically focusing on learning the letters of the alphabet along with their sounds, and then also sight words, and then moving on to potentially other vocabulary words, and really focusing on the sounds and letters that make up those words, because it's very important that students understand that the combination of letters and sounds makes a word. So hopefully they get that through this lesson. Um, so for the first part, the students are going to be like basically learning the alphabet and along with their letter sounds. So the teacher is going to give them access to the PowerPoint through like a Google Drive or a Google folder that the classroom will have. And so on this PowerPoint, this teacher will have a like audio clip which can be inserted into the PowerPoint through the PowerPoint application, so it makes it super easy and easily accessible. So the students will be like prompted to press the button on this audio button on the PowerPoint slides, and this will basically have the teachers saying the letter of the alphabet along with its corresponding sounds. And so then the students are going to press the button on each slide, so they're going to be listening to that voice clip. And so then the teacher is going to prompt the students to say the letter, listen to the sound, repeat the sound, and then brainstorm words as they're listening to this audio file. And so then after the students have gone through the entire slideshow, the students will be instructed to insert an audio clip on the PowerPoint slide where they'll recite the letters of the alphabet along with their corresponding sounds. So for example, like they say A, ah. And so that would be like an example of them saying the letter and then the sound. And they're going to be asked to they're basically going to go through the whole alphabet, and then they're going to be asked to put this audio file just on like the first slide, and then to share it with the teacher using their last name and then just like the title alphabet. And they're going to share that through the classroom's Google Doc or Google folder that the teacher will create. And the teacher is going to be looking at basically their pronunciation and their corresponding sounds they give, and then also students are going to be prompted to or challenged to give examples of words that start with that letter or sound, and so they can include that example in their audio clip that they're going to be giving to their teacher. And then the second part of this lesson, they're going to be looking at sight words. And so sight words are basically high frequency words that students at this age like must know. So they're very essential, and they're also like words that students will see every day. So like the and or an, a, and so they're just like easy words like that. And so for this part of the lesson, students are going to be given access to a PowerPoint on the classroom Google Drive or Google folder, and on this PowerPoint, the students are going to be given a list of sight words. So like each sight word will have its own slide, and so on the side, the teacher is going to insert an audio clip where it's just going to basically go through the list of words. So it would probably be on the first slide, or the teacher could break it up and have it on each slide, and it's just going to go through the word, so pronouncing the word and then talking about the letters and sounds that make up that word. And then the students are going to be asked on these PowerPoint slides in the text box. So like basically the word will be the title on each slide, and then the students are going to be asked underneath that in a text box that's already inserted with the questions of like what are the letters, what are the sounds, and where do you hear these words. And so the students are going to be answering those questions on each slide. So they're going to be answering the question of like how many letters, what are the sounds, and then where could you hear or see this word. And students are going to be prompted to they could either do this step in words, or they could even be using pictures or however else they want to do it, because we really want to create a tool that students will find most beneficial, because some students learn best through words and some students learn best through like visual representation. And so it's really whatever they want to make it, as long as they are answering those questions. And so then they're going to share that with the teacher through the like classroom Google site or Google folder, and the teacher's just going to be looking at their completion as well as their understanding of like what letters and sounds and sight words they know, and which ones they might like need a little bit more time to learn and acquire to their vocabulary. And then Next, the students are going to be looking at different words, like outside of the sight words. And so they're going to, again, be going on to this Google Drive where they're going to locate a file called like spelling words. And this is going to be an Audacity file. And Audacity is a recording application. And usually it is found on like school computer desktops. So like it makes it really easily accessible, because a lot of times when you're having students use applications that you have to search on the internet, they can have they could have problems like finding them. And essentially we want this lesson to be like as student based and less teacher instructed. And so the students are going to be listening to this audio file, and the teacher in this audio file, it's going to be an audio file of the teacher pronouncing different words, and these words can be like vocab words, and they're going to range from like classroom items, everyday words, important words, etc. And so as they're listening to this audio file, the students are going to be prompted to spell the words out on like a separate piece of paper, or they could do it like in a Word document if they really wanted to. And they're going to be really focusing on spelling the word how it sounds. So not even worrying about if it's correct, but really focusing on how it sounds. And after they complete the writing of those spelling words, wherever they decide to write it, they are going to be instructed to go to the Audacity application, and they're going to just press the record button, and they're going to verbally spell these vocab words as they spelled it on their piece of paper or Word document. And when the students complete their Audacity file, like of their spelling of all of the words, they're just going to submit that file to the classroom Google Doc or Google folder, and they're just going to be calling it like the spelling test. And with this part of the lesson, the teacher's really going to be looking at the stage of spelling the students are in, which could be pre-communicative, semi-phonetic, phonetic, transitional, and correct. And so the teacher is going to be really able, through their verbal skills as well as their overall accomplishment of spelling the words, and if they're close or not, the teacher will be able to assess which phase of spelling they're in, and that kind of allows them to know how much work they may need in their spelling. And then after completing the verbal spelling test, the students are going to be asked to expand this knowledge of letters and sounds, as well as spelling words, how they think they sound. And so the students are going to be asked to like walk around the room, or maybe search the internet for classroom items or areas, or even like other words that they want to know how to spell. Students are going to be asked to create a PowerPoint, and they're going to insert a picture of their item, and you could have them either do one item, or you could have them do 10. It's really up to the teacher, but they just need to make sure that each student is doing the same number of items. And so the student will then create, on this PowerPoint, the student is going to create just like inserting the image, and then along with their spelling of the word. And so they're just going to like insert a picture, and then they're going to insert like type into the text box how they think that word is spelled, and then they're going to share that with the teacher in the classroom Google folder, or like Google Drive, however the teacher has it set up. It's usually going to be a Google folder because that's easier to navigate things. And so that's basically what the students will be doing. It's really allowing them to like adopt a skill or acquire a skill, working on it, and then like progress that skill rather than just focusing on one. They're learning basically like 4 different skills in one lesson, but it's just like one skill building on to the most previous skills. So it's going to be like a review and moving on. And so by the end of this lesson, hopefully students really understand their letters, their sounds, and the importance of spelling words, how they think they sound.